Good afternoon, everyone. I am Kathy from Kathy Creates, where I try to inspire you to create. Come on into the craft room. We are on Craft Around the Clock today, as well as my page, and we are going to get started here. Let me just refresh my page so I can see comments. When you get here, say hello. Let me know you're here. My mom is going to be doing comments again today for me, so she'll announce when she sees, or she sets timers, just like I did. And when the timer goes off, she looks over. Whoever's comment she sees is the one that gets into the drawing for a Happy Mail. Let's see if Facebook is going to play nice. Okay, there we go. All right, so when you get here, say hello. Let me know you're here. Hello, Miss Cheryl, my coffee cheers buddy. Well, I've switched from coffee now. Now I'm on to my Diet Coke. Diet Coke now. So cheers to the Diet Coke. Hope you're feeling good. All right, so this is a brand new kit that just hit our website this morning. Excuse me, I am off for the day because I'm getting ready for some festival shows that we're involved in. And of course, I had to go ahead and decide to create a new kit. Because why not, right? When you're off, you got to do it. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Excuse me. Hello, Maria. Pardon me. All right. Goodness, I got a tickle now. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you this. So this is going to make a little palette. All right, so we have the separate pieces. The first part says happy. Of course, the little H just fell off. All right, the second part says harvest. So it says happy harvest. And then we've got this little, goodness, we've got this little pumpkin motif at the bottom. Okay, so we're going to paint our palette first. And I am going to do a chippy paint finish. I'm going to show you how I do that. And I do have another one that's completely dry that I'm going to use, but I'm going to go ahead and paint this one to show you how I do it. And excuse me, my goodness. And then I'm going to pull the dry one over because some of the things I'm going to do to this, it needs to be dry. Okay. So hello, everyone. Hello. If you're new to my page, welcome. I'm Kathy from Kathy Creates, where I try to inspire you to create. Now, I'm not going to paint this. Typically, I will paint my surface first, but I kind of like this wood color. So I want it, I would have just painted it a brown. So we're just going to leave it. Hello, Elizabeth. Hello, Sue. Excuse me. I'm so sorry for the coughing. Oh, goodness, just about dropped that. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I just take a lot of glue and this is actually the Walmart brand. When they had gotten out all the school supplies, they had these bottles for $1. So I bought a bunch of them because I love to do this technique. Okay, so we want a lot of glue on here. And we're going to need more. That's not enough. Hello, Miss Tracy. Hello, Marcia. Struggling here with the allergies, I think. All right, so the more glue, the better your crackle is going to be. So we want this pretty thick and pretty evenly covered. Okay, so you can see it's pretty thick on there. All right, so we're going to do the same on all 3 pieces. So typically I do evening time slots because I work a full-time job during the day. And but because I decided to take today and tomorrow off for these festivals and shows we're doing, tomorrow I'll be at one of them. Oh goodness, I just dropped that in there. So now, oh goodness, I just dropped it. Okay. So I decided to grab a morning or earlier in the day time slot. I guess it's not morning, not here at least. For some of you are at it, probably is. So we're going to clean this up a little because that's going to leave some very odd streaks on our, okay. So if you're new to me, I appreciate it if you'd give a little follow. And if you see any of our other creators on here, I saw Miss Sue from Heartfelt Life or Heartfelt Living. I can't remember exactly the name of it, but something along those lines. She does some amazing things, so make sure you give her a little follow. And any of the others that you happen to see on here. All right, so we're going to close this up. And we're going to start to dry this. Now, I'm not going to dry it all the way. Hello, Miss Carol. We're just going to get it started. We don't want it all the way dry. I just want to give it a head start. Hello, Lori. All right, that's probably good enough. All right, so we're not going to paint this all the way by any means. Or dry it all the way, I should say. Okay, now I am going to take a bigger paintbrush. We're going to put a lot of glue or paint. My goodness, my words are not working today. And we're going to coat these pretty heavily. And the idea of using this bigger brush is less brush strokes. I don't need to go back and forth, so I'm really loading up my paintbrush here with a lot of paint. Okay, and we're going to just drag it across, back the other way. Try to do it as few times as possible, but I got a big old blob of paint right there, so we're going to have to kind of clean that up a little. All right. We're going to do the same on all three. You don't want to go back and forth too many times because you're going to be mixing your paint and your glue, and you don't want that. You want it to be standing on top of the glue. You got to get a little bit more. There we go. Okay. All right, I'm stopping. We don't have great coverage. That's okay. My end result here is what I'm looking for. So I am going to grab a wipe though, because I do see I've got some major drippage on this one on my end. So let's clean that up a little. I think the rest of them don't look too bad. Okay, so I'm going to start to dry these. Now they're not going to get all the way dry. Hello, Miss Sheila. They're not going to get all the way dry, and that's why I went ahead and did some up in advance. But I want to get them going enough that you can see how it crackles. Yeah, I got crackle. And hopefully you'll be able to see it. Hello, Miss Lori. Don't forget to comment. And as my mom sees them when the timer goes off, you'll get entered in the Happy Meal drawing. So I'm going to hold this up as I dry it. If I can without burning my fingers. And I like to hold it very close, because I don't mind, you know, if you squirts your paint, it's going to bubble up. I'm okay with that, because then we're going to distress this some more. Okay? Miss Sheila just got an entry for Happy Meal. So I hold it very close, and if we bubble, I'm all right with that. It's perfectly fine. Actually, I kind of encourage it. I'm going to set this down so I can turn it around, because there's no way I can hold it up there at the top where the heat is needed to be. There you go. Miss Sheila linked her page. If you're not following her, please do so. And any of the other creatives you see on here. And I actually am in an event that Miss Sheila and Miss Cheryl are hosting tomorrow and Saturday. It'll be streamed in both the Craft Around the Clock and the Sweeties. I can't remember what it's called. Sheila, can you link the group for the event tomorrow? Put the link in there, and we'll see if we can get some people to jump over there and join the group so that you can see all of the live crafters. And there will be a giveaway in that. There's some sponsors. There's 3 sponsors for the event. And they will be gifting away some awesome things. So you'll need to click on that link so you can get to the form to fill out and get entered into that giveaway. Yes, I am starting the event off at 9 a.m. my time, which is Eastern time zone, or 8 a.m. Central. So make sure you're tuning in bright and early. We'll be there with coffee. So Miss Cheryl, bring your coffee, girl. And we'll be coffee cheersing. Okay. There's our first one. As you can see, we've got some good crackle going on there. We're going to keep going here. There we go. It's Sweet Crafted Treasures. That's the name of the group that the event will be in tomorrow, as well as live streamed on Craft Around the Clock. Thank you, Sheila. I appreciate you. So just when you think Craft Around the Clock can't get any better, hold on. There's stuff coming. There's lots of events that go on Craft Around the Clock on the weekends, Fridays and the weekends. So there's, it's not necessarily a scheduled weekend. This one is, but not always. And it's just fun. Yes, it is tomorrow and Saturday. Both days. I believe there's 36 creatives that are going to be featured in it. So I'm honored to be one of them. All right, I'm going to say we're going to call this good enough for now because, like I said, I've got some dry ones that we're going to work on. All right, let me show you what we got. So these are still very wet and not nearly dry enough to be able to do what we're going to do. Okay, so we're just going to set these aside. They've got some really good crackle going on. So I'm going to set this aside as well. Let's see, where do I want to put this? Let's go over here with that, get that out of the way. And these are our dry ones. So let's just slide these guys up here, out of our way. All right. So these are dry already. I already did these. So I'm going to move this. As you can see, I reuse my paper towels. No use of wasting them. I reuse my paint palettes. Quote. Okay. All right. So let's get this part going. All right, I am going to paint my letters brown. I do like to use a piece of tape to hold them down. Much easier to paint when they're stuck down to something. Okay. And I don't think I have enough brown out on my palette. Oh, thank you, Sheila. I appreciate that. I will be using one of the sponsors, Rice Paper, tomorrow with Digital Deco Design. She has some beautiful prints, and I had purchased some from her, I don't know, maybe a month or so ago, and I'm going to be using one of those tomorrow. So make sure you tune in. It's going to be gorgeous. I've already got my project all planned out. Okay, so our letters are painted. Set those aside, and let's get to work on our little pumpkin. So I'm going to paint the big portion of the pumpkin a darker orange, and that orange is this Americana Decor Warm Sunset. I love this orange. This is a great, great color. Oh, good, Elizabeth. I'm so excited that you're going to be there. I love this color because I'm not big on the bright, bright orange pumpkin color. I like this as a little more muted, and I really do like this better. Now, of course, if you purchase this kit, you can do any colors to match your decor. I know my mom has done one like this, and she's used more of a teal for the leaves instead of a green. She loves her teals. You could paint your pumpkin a cream. That'd be very pretty. There's just so many options of what you can do. All right. And then I'm going to paint my inside. This is going to end up being the inside of our leaves. I'm going to paint this. This is the Folk Art Matte Mossy Meadow. Love this color as well. Hello, Miss Dawn. Thank you so much. We do have comments. Or timer set, Miss Dawn. Mom's running the comment. I can't speak today. Mom is running the timers today for Happy Mail entries. So make sure you're commenting for chance at Happy Mail, which I have not drawn yet. So hopefully maybe Sunday I'll have time to draw it. Because we have a show where I'm helping out tomorrow. It's not really our show. It's the store that I partner with, that I have some of my products in. We have a festival going on in my hometown. And, excuse me, she has a booth at it. So I'm going to be working the booth tomorrow while she's at work. And then the next day we have Roche de Boeuf, something like that, in Waterville, Ohio, on Saturday that we will be set up at. I don't want this first. I want this orange first. Okay. So I'm going to do the inside, or the lining of the pumpkin is going to be done in this Anita's Light Coral. Okay. Oh, thank you, Miss Linda. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. All right, so when I paint all of these pieces, I do like to use the sponge, and I like to dab, because then you don't get as much excess paint on the edges of your piece. And it just looks neater when it's finished. Which, of course, I already have all my products made for these shows. And of course, then this morning I'm like, I want to make something new. So I had to design something new for today. And of course, then I have to make it in mass production for all the shows. So, I just made myself more work today. I do that a lot. Okay, so now I'm going to paint the lining of my leaves. I'm going to paint those this olive green. Okay, and this is Anita's again. All right. So we're just going to be careful that we don't get this olive green on that light coral. Now you could go back in, and I know my mom does this a lot. She goes in the inside of these, and she will add glass, the little pieces of glass, and then she'll fill it with resin when it's put together. So if you like that look, I'm more the farmhousey look, so that doesn't really go with my decor, but Mom loves that, and it is pretty. It's just not my style. So these kits are great for that, especially these ones that are layered, that have the second layer. All right, and then I'm just going to paint my stem with this brown. Just being careful. Okay. So we got that painted, Excuse me. Hello, Crafty Servings. Hello, Crafty Farmer. All right, we're going to dry these pieces up real quick. Oh my gosh, I need to slow down. We're only 15 minutes into this, and I'm done already. Oh my. I get on a roll here, and I just keep working. Okay, I'm going to touch this up, because I do see I got some green on it. I don't think it would show, but we're going to just fix her up. Since we have plenty of time, no need to rush. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Let's give that another dry. Hello, Miss Pam. Okay, so now the way that these go together, now these are somewhat fragile, so you do need to be careful because there's not much real estate. If I flip this over, you can see there really isn't much real estate holding these together, so you do need to be somewhat careful. All right, all of these pieces have sticky back on them. So all you need to do is peel it off and stick it together. There's no gluing necessary in any of this kit. 99% of our kits, there's no glue necessary. The only one that I've done so far that you need glue for is our pumpkin lantern and the one set of pumpkins. Do I have one here? Yeah, I do. This set of pumpkins, because there's nothing, they hang over, so I can't really put a lot of our sticky back on that. So those are the only two things that you need to put together that you would need a glue for. Because I'm kind of fanatic about this stuff. I really like using the sticky back. I like the fact that you don't have any ooze. Because when you use glue, whether it be super glue, wood glue, that stick fast, whatever, you're going to have some ooze, especially when they're fine designs like this, where the lines are very thin. I mean, look how thin this is. You would have a difficult time putting this together without having ooze. So now when I line these up, I line up the pumpkin first. I line up the leaf and I squeeze. I line up this leaf and I squeeze. Okay. There you have it. Our little pumpkin. Look how cute this is. My computer just timed out on me. There we go. Look how cute this is. All right. So let's close up this glue for the paint. We're done with that. We're done with that. All right. So now there is a top and a bottom. Well, there's a middle, really, I guess you could say. I did specifically round the corners on the top edge and the bottom edge so that this has more of a pointed, these are rounded. I'm not sure if that's going to show up real well. You can see that. So you do need to pay attention to that when you're assembling this. Let's get our pieces over here. Let's get this out of the way. We don't need that anymore. All right. So the way I did this, so you're going to get these two little sticks. These are going to be the back pieces. You know how a palette has the things going down in the back? So we're going to, and these also have the sticky back on them. So you're going to peel that off. Notice I did not paint these because you're going to use this side is what's going to be up, which is the sticky back side. Okay. This is what's going to hold our palette together. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up, and I'm just going to kind of guesstimate how far apart I want it. Now, it is very sticky, so you have to be careful. I'm just lining it up with the edge of my table. It makes it easy for me to line it up so I know it's straight. I'm going to line up the way this is designed, so I want my rounded corner on the bottom, and I'm going to line it up with the bottom of those little sticks, okay? Get it pretty even. All right, so now as you see, it's stuck. Okay, just that little bit and it is stuck. All right, so now we're going to do the same thing on the top. So we want to make sure that we have, oops, I just stuck my finger in wet paint. We want to make sure we have the rounded pieces up here on the top, and we're going to line up those and try to line this up as well. So I think I'm going to slide this over. This is actually a very old drop leaf table, and this is where one of the drop leaves are. So I have a nice straight edge, so I can kind of line this up. So we're just going to do this as best we can. Okay. So now we have that. It's easiest to put your top and bottom on because then you can center the center piece easier just by eyeballing it. Okay. All right. So there we go. So we have our little palette put together. Okay, so it's pretty secure. It's not going anywhere. That sticky back is some really good stuff. So you just want to kind of give it a good push, make sure it's stuck down well. All right. So now the next thing, I'm going to move this out of my way. I don't need that either right now. Let's see. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take my little gator. Remember how I said I wanted to stress this some more? Let's get these out of the way. Let's put those over there. All right, so I'm going to go around and I'm really going to rough this up. I do not want this to look new. I'm really going to do my edges well. I'm going to come back around, do these. Oh no, I pushed that underneath there. Oh, I saved it. My wet paint one's over here. I just slid it underneath something. Fortunately, there was enough gap that it didn't mess up my paint. Okay. All right, so you can see where we're at so far. All right, so you can see I've got my edges are pretty sanded. They're looking pretty good. My kit there is linked to the website, or the link to this kit is linked in the description. And Mom, can you throw that link in there as well? All right, and now I'm going to go in and just randomly in spots really sand it back. We're just going to add all that chippy goodness, okay? There we go. There's the kit. Thanks, Mom. Now I'm going with the same direction as my crackle, okay? I guess you wouldn't have to, but I prefer that look. So that's why I'm doing this. I really want to get some good vintagey, chippy look to this going. We're getting there. Of course, Lori. Yes, it is $14 and that includes shipping. Oh goodness, Pam, I'm sorry. I could ship to Canada, but of course shipping would be extra. Okay, so let's get this cleaned up here a little bit. Now let's clean up our space. All right, let's get a wipe and wipe that off because it's very gritty. All right, so we're gonna just wipe this off, make sure we get all the dust and grime off of it. Okay. All right, so the next step to make this even grungier looking, we're gonna take, this is the Tim Holtz Distressing Ink in Vintage Photo. Okay, it's my favorite one. I need to buy a bigger one of it because it's the only one I ever use. Okay, so I'm going to take this little makeup brush. I got at Dollar Tree and I wipe most of it off because I don't like it to be so pronounced. And it's easier to go back and add more than it is to take it off. I mean, you can sand it off, and if I get too much in a spot, I will do that. But I do like to just kind of dab it on a paper towel. And you just get a nice little effect. Okay, you can see my edges down there where we've got it. I like that look a lot. Unfortunately, yes, that does mean you don't qualify for Happy Meal. I'm sorry. All right. So we're just going around and gently giving it a little love. We want to look like this little sign has just had so much love and has been around and all the things. Look how nice that's looking. You guys see that? I love that look. Oops, I'm showing you the wrong side. There we go. So you can see the difference. That one doesn't have any, that one does. All right. So we're just kissing the edge with that and just kind of going in little small circles, because if you do too big of a motion, you'll have a very defined line that I do not want. And I start off with very light pressure and then go heavier once it starts to show a little color. As you can see, we had to do this once it's completely dry. This would not work. This would make a giant mess if this was still damp. So that's why I had a separate one that was already dry. Almost got this. And then you can go back in any spot that you think needs it, or if you want to add a little somewhere else, just to give it a little more character. We're just going to add a couple here and there. Make it look like it's got a little smudge going on. All right, I think that's pretty good. I do like to kind of give my corners a little more. I feel like if you're handling things, you know, your corners are going to get the bulk of the. I just work on blending it so it doesn't have such a defined line. This takes a minute, but it gives you a really neat little effect. I can see where I went a little lighter in spots, so I'm kind of going back and getting those. Okay, I think that's pretty good. All right, see how we totally dinged that up a little bit? Oh, thank you, Lori. Yes, I love that. To me, that just screams vintage. I love it. So we took a brand new piece and we made it old looking. All right, so let's put this thing together. All right, so there's a couple different ways you can do this kit. So you can do it this way, and then you could add a bow up here, which I know you're shocked. I'm not doing that. Anyone that follows me knows I love my bows. I'm not going to do that though. I really like the look of this, just kind of simple. To me, it just kind of, whoops, I see I missed a spot of the brown right there on that. So let's bring that back out. Let's fix that. There we go. Just missed a little part of the T there. Make sure there's no paint. So I always line these up, but I did design it so it would fit all on one of the little rows. So if you wanted to make a bow up here, or do a floral, or even move it up and do it down here, you know, put some Spanish moss or something down here, you've got options. So I always lay them out before I start taking them apart or taking the backing off to stick them down onto the board. I always lay it out, make sure my spacing is right, how I want it. And then once you peel and stick, it's there. So there's no going back. Once you've stuck it down, it's there to stay. Okay? So you need to be pretty careful with, you know, how you're placing this down. The only way you're going to get this off is to pry it off, and when you pry it off, it will ruin both pieces. So keep that in mind. It's a one and done. I saw another piece that just tore. There it is. There we go. Okay. So our happy harvest is down. As you can see, it's not going anywhere. Now, if you got paint, over your edges and you wanted to clean up your edges, you could just take your little sponge and go around your edges. I've done that before on some other pieces. This one looks okay. I didn't get too much excess paint on the edges, so we're good. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. And we're going to just peel these off. Okay, and we're just going to try to center this. And once you press it, it's done. All right, so the last little thing we're going to do is we are going to add a tiny little raffia bow at the top of our pumpkin. That's my nod to my bows. Because if you're new to me, you'll soon find out that A, I love bows, B, I love buffalo plaid, and C, I love raffia. So I got to bring some of it in there somewhere, okay? Everyone that knows me knows this. All right, so all I'm going to do is make the teeny tiniest little bow. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm just going to go back and forth making loops. We're going to tie it, and then I'm going to cut it to make it even smaller. Because to do a simple little, just a messy bow with raffia would be really hard. So it's easier to do it this way and then just cut it. Okay. So I'm just making this teeny tiny little bow. I just went back and forth. I'm going to use a piece of raffia to tie it. There you go. Are you close to the border, Pamela? That might be a great idea, actually. I know there's a lot of like UPS stores and things like that you can get a P.O. box, and I think they're pretty inexpensive. If you're close to the border, that would be a great option for you. Oh my gosh, 5 minutes? Yeah, girl, you need to do that. Okay, so I just took a piece of raffia and I tied our tiny little bow. I'm just going to trim off the raffia that I tied it with. Getting it close to the knot, but not the knot, because I don't want it to come untied. Okay, so as you can see, this is too big for that. All right, let me show you. That's too big for our little pumpkin. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to cut the loops right off. Now imagine trying to tie a little messy bow this teeny. I'm just sliding that tie over. Imagine trying to tie it that small. That would be next to impossible. The way I just did it was so easy. So then we're going to just take our little bundle there, and we are going to take our hot glue gun and put a little drop right there. Just takes a dab. And we're just going to glue our little raffia bow on the center. Hold that for a moment. Let that glue set. Okay. And look how precious this is. Isn't that just precious? I absolutely love this. This is totally me. This fits in my decor perfectly. Now, I don't think I listed it on the kit, and I'll have to go back and add it. We've got these little easels. How precious is that? Fits perfectly. Now imagine this on your tiered tray. Imagine this on your kitchen counter. Imagine it on, an end table with a little grouping next to it. How cute would that be? So cute. I know, right, Mary? The easel makes it. I mean, the easel just makes things so much easier, and they're interchangeable. These fold flat, so you take them apart and they're flat. So for storage, they're super easy. I will go back and add this to the kit. So when you get the kit, you're going to get the easel and you're going to get all of the wood pieces to go with this. Okay. So I think it's super cute. And of course, you could style this in any way. You could do scrapbook paper on these. Think how cute that would be. You could do alternating, scrapbook paper. Like, these two the same, the center one a little bit different. That would be adorable. You could even do scrapbook paper on here, but my mom, like I was saying earlier, see how that's raised? She will put like little glass, I don't want to say shards, but little pieces of crushed glass in these, to complement the color of whatever she's got going on. And then she fills them with resin. So if you're into that, blingy, sparkly stuff, I'm not. She is. She does it all the time. And it is super cute. Mom, matter of fact, post the I love fall most of all sign that you did that. Post that picture. You should be able to, since you're on his admin. But she did it with the resin. We have a sign that is very similar to this design. Matter of fact, it's the exact same pumpkin design. I just shrunk it down and it has different words with it. But we have, no, I don't have it in here. I thought I had it in here. But she did that with it. So you could get both of these kits, the sign kit and this one, and they'd coordinate together. They'd be very cute together. All right, so that is all I have. Right, Pam? Yeah, Mom loves the resin. She does the resin all the time, and it's pretty. It's just not my thing. So yeah, if you like resin in the glass and all of that, then these kits are right up your alley. Any of them that have the lining on them, which is the double layer, they really work well, which we have quite a few of them that have that. So enjoy. All right, guys. So remember, tomorrow, 9 a.m., I will be on live with the event that's going on in both Craft Around the Clock and whatever Sheila said. I already forgot what she called it. I don't remember. I'm so sorry. Sweetie's Creative. I don't know. I can't remember. I'm sorry. But anyway, so I'll be on then. And that will also be live streamed on Craft Around the Clock, both Friday and Saturday, all day, 36 crafters. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you. Bye-bye.